Meet three powerful leaders who are giving their all every day in the service of the impact that they want to make in the world through their companies. And yet they are stuck and not making as much progress as they would like to. They feel like they're leaving a lot of potential on the table, and that is why they got together in a power hour with me to get my direct, honest, and often provocative coaching to help them see something which they are not seeing right now and unlock doors of possibilities which are right in front of them. My name is Sumit Gupta, and I am the founder of the Deploy Yourself School of Leadership. And I have helped hundreds of leaders and entrepreneurs surprise themselves by what they can do and achieve. So fasten your seat belts for the next 40 to 50 minutes as you are most likely dealing with the same challenges that these three share: avoiding difficult conversations, overanalysis, and preparation coming in the way of taking bold and courageous action, and dealing with emotions while making decisions. And a few minutes today can be more powerful than a few weeks or months otherwise. That is why this is called the Power Hour. So pause and rewatch a particular segment if you have to revisit something. And once again, this is not content, this is not TV. So I invite you to listen to this without any distractions, like I'm speaking one-on-one directly to you. Listen to it with that kind of an attention, or do not listen to it, as that will dilute the power that or the value that you can get out of it. And as you watch, ask yourself the same question that I am asking these three people in this power hour, and constantly listen from the lens of how can I apply this in my life today, and then go ahead in your life after watching this and apply it, do something different. That's where the value lies, right? Not in listening to this, but doing something different based on what you learn. That's where the value of this power hour lies. And that is my gift to you. The ideas and the questions that I share in this power hour are not just ideas or thoughts that I'm pulling out of thin air. They are my learnings from doing this work day in and day out. And if you have an insight after watching this, reach out and share that with me. It makes a world of difference to me and my team when we hear positive stories of impact from you. I want to start by welcoming you all, first of all, and acknowledging for making time for this. Ravi, shall we start with you? Are you okay?
Yeah.
So you shared partner alignment as a challenge, and then also non-expression. Can you share a bit more about that? What exactly is going on?
So what happens is, like, when you are multiple founders in the team, right? So somehow what happens is, like, during the journey, differences are bound to happen. You all come from different background. You all have different experiences in life, and that starts to come to the fore when the journey gets a little tougher. So that's when all of this, like, and then obviously there are different things that you experience in terms of the skill set that you are dealing with. For example, a technical person will look towards a problem
Yeah.
from a
So
different point
Ravi,
of view.
what is happening in your situation?
So in particular, if I talk about my situation, what is happening is the goals are becoming a bit disaligned now. So what I am looking towards as the bigger goal, what I'm filtering out is it is not in alignment of my view. Is it, like, as the company is developing, my view is becoming a slightly on a different terrain altogether.
Yes. So there is a lack of alignment on the goals. Okay. So can you share a bit about the non-expression, right? You mentioned, and the question was, how are you coming in your own way? Can you share a bit about that?
So non-expression means, because you have to be cognizant of the fact that there are other people also who are obviously, you can't say they are not, maybe, or if I have to express it clearly, maybe they are not, you can say they are also serious in their own demeanor about the company, because obviously everybody wants the company to become big. But then the eventually end result, and what happens is, like, sooner or later you realize that some things.
So I got it right. This is one of the most common issues that I see in organizations, which leads to problems downstream, which leads to problems when the organization gets bigger. And it's not just about the founders, it also goes into like lower layers later on as the organization. So how big is your organization right now? How many people?
100 people.
Okay. And how many are the founders or the partners in this
5.
situation? Yeah. So, and you want that alignment, right? First of all, you want the 5 to be aligned. So can you share how are you coming in your own way, right? So, and you wrote non-expression. Can you simply share about yourself?
So what I constantly do is obviously try to put my point of view in front of them. How exactly am I thinking? And then trying to hear what their side of the story also. And try to make a balance sort of thing. And sometimes non-expression, what I mean by non-expression is obviously you understand their point of view also. And sometimes even if you are feeling like 100% surety about something, you try to hold on to that. Because you understand, let me give it some more time. Maybe things maybe pan out, because you yourself also are not 100% like in your own journey. You have never been 100% correct all the time, right? So you also want to give that spare like some time to other people also. That's why you feel like, yeah, although I am 100% sure, like close to 100% sure of this thing is going to work like this, but you still want to like, yeah, give other space also and respect also, because they are also deep into this journey.
Yes. And is this coming in the way of the company's growth or anything right now?
Right now, I think till now we have been able to manage it quite well. Not reflecting on the numbers.
Yeah. So you mentioned this as a challenge, right? So how is it impacting you? Is it impacting you personally?
Personally, in the sense, because I feel like maybe it is growing like day by day on. Yeah, maybe because somehow I am deep down, I am thinking that this should not go out of hand. I need to keep like, maybe I should not let it happen till the level whereby I need to like, I would get to hear why were you not addressing at that point of time when we all were doing this thing? What were you waiting for?
Yeah. And right now it is that respect that you mentioned, right? So you said you initiate a conversation, but then you step back, then you maybe hold off or you wait and not take it to the next level.
It cannot be my way or highway situation also. No? You have to respect other people's boundaries also. I cannot go around and say, yeah, I feel about this situation like this. And if it doesn't happen like this, then I am not part of this thing. That doesn't happen with founders, right?
So that's you. That's what you are saying. I'm not saying that. I'm not agreeing to that. I want to share something with you.
Yeah.
See, let me share a story with you, which is very recent, happened yesterday or day before. I was talking to a CEO who was disappointed in his team because they were not punctual in terms of time, right? Whether it is something small as coming to a meeting or delivering a project on time. And because of this, the company already missed some deliveries which were supposed to happen, like just the financial year which ended right now. And now some invoices are delayed. And then when I asked them what are they doing about it, they said that like the reason I started the company is to give employment or uplift people, empower people. So even with this, even with the delay, and there are a lot of other projects which were happening on time also, they were rewarding these people, right? And yet they wanted to fix this challenge because it was coming in the way of this CEO basically taking a step back from the day-to-day and micromanagement and doing that. And what I offered to this person and what we realized after a conversation was that he, first of all, as a CEO, he is committed to the growth of his company, right? So he has put in certain targets, he has put in certain numbers, he's committed to that. But now he's also committed to uplifting people or empowering people. He really cares about people. This person really cares about people. So there are two things here, right? So one is the commitment that a CEO has for his role, which is to make the company successful, which is to basically say, next year this will happen, 18 months this will happen, 24 months this will happen. Now, second hand, this person also cares about people very much, right? Finds it difficult to hold them accountable on a particular conversation and wants to reward them, wants to uplift them, and so on. Now, both of these two things are wonderful, right? But when they start to conflict, they are not right and wrong, but when they start to conflict, right? Like it was what was happening in this case. Now he said, because I care about people, I'm still rewarding them and not having the conversation, even though it was hurting the top line, the growth of the company or the deliveries of the project. And as you grow more and more, this will start to hurt more and more. So what he saw was there was nothing like what you were also mentioning, right? Respect. That was one word you used. And what I want to share is that there are two commitments that you have, and all of us have multiple commitments, right? So there are two commitments which you have. One is in your role to make the company successful. That's the role of any founder or co-founder, right? That's if you have 100 people, all 100 people are going to look up to you for that, to make the company successful. Now you might have other commitments, other values which you're committed towards, and those are wonderful unless they get in the way of the primary commitment. And when that happens, that becomes a moment of choice to say that depending on the situation, I will have to choose. Otherwise, either one of them will suffer or both of them will suffer. Both of the commitments will suffer. So can you see something for your situation here?
So what I have decided is and I am working on the same is as I told you also, I'm trying to voice out more and more about this thing. For example, telling exactly how I feel and maybe some deliverables.
So slow down. So my question was, can you see that first of all, this is coming in the way that as a founder, you want the commitments to be aligned, the goals to be aligned, right? But at the same time, when you are talking to people, when you are initiating conversations, there is something else which stops you from going the full way.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yes. And that is what I said now, because that's why I have to stop myself. Non-expression.
Yeah. And can you see what is the cost of that?
Maybe I am feeling a personal cost of that right now. Maybe I am a bit more anxious, but not on the numbers still. Not on the number side still.
Yeah. So this is something which is in a way still working for you, right? This is not hurting you. Yeah.
Personally, on a personal level, obviously anxiety, but not on a numbers level. Maybe tomorrow there will be a situation it might reflect on numbers also.
Yeah. And are you willing to live with that anxiety for now?
I am also giving myself a chance to listen to other people and maybe think about what other point of view is, and maybe they are correct also, because I am a second time founder. I have failed when I did my first startup, I had failed. So I am right now taking things in a manner whereby I am open to other people also thinking about business in a very different, maybe I am also I have my view and everything, but my past experience also has made me humble also to understand that other people are also coming with a experience and maybe they are also right.
Yeah, but humility, or what you said, humble, right, doesn't mean non-expressing, right? That has nothing to do with.
But right? Then sometimes what I mean by non-expressing is giving time. Not exactly for the first time if I feel something and I end up blabbering about this thing without even thinking second order effect of these things. Because sometimes what happens is you think you are right and you try to push your way around. This is what I am thinking and I have got this.
So see, even here I want you to notice, right? In your listening, in your speaking, when you use the word push, right? Even the counter argument that you're making is coming from the same value of respect, right? You want to be respectful. Another person I'm talking to, exact same issue, they will not even bring the counter agreement if respect is not one of their core things. So can you see that it's still coming, the counter argument that you're making? It's not because that is the case, because you might have to push, or because you might not listen to their point of view. It's coming that because that is what you fear. That is what you don't want to step on.
Not exactly. Not exactly. As I told you, in past I have experiences of going wrong with things also. So that is why I want to take this time also. As I said, this non-expression is just buying more time.
Yeah. So I get it, right? Yeah, I get it. I am not. See, that is your usual school of thought, right? There is no value.
But that is coming from that is coming from my past experience. So that's not my school of thought. It is something which I have developed over my past experience.
Yes, but we are talking about the future right now.
But your future depends on your past experiences, na? Whatever
So
you are
that's
thinking
so,
about
so slow
future
down,
depends on your past experience.
slow down. So I don't buy that. I don't buy that. And again, I want you to not listen to it as the truth, but maybe as a perspective. For me, what the kind of work that I help people do is simply say, this is what I want in the future. And then I help them create that. That's it. And one of the key things which come in the way is the past. Either this happened in the past, or we have tried this in the past, or we have not tried this in the past, or whatever happened in the past, right? Or whatever on the past. And what I'm trying to say, that comes in the way of the future, and then it becomes like a lens through which we look rather than the absolute reality. So I want to hold you here for now and move on to somebody else. And while I am talking to somebody else, first of all, just ponder over what we were talking about, that whatever that you're describing, right, whatever that you're describing is not what actually is it is what you are seeing right now. So whatever you say that it is stopping you from like totally openly talking about it is not the reality. There is no objective reality there. You might have past experiences, you might have like all of that, and that's coming from because you value respect, you value like respect in relationships or a particular style of communication, and then it's acting like a filter where it is creating a risk and which is causing you to maybe take a step back. And again, nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying I'm not saying anywhere that you should do this or should not do this. I'm just saying that's creating a filter or a screen that is coloring what you're looking at rather than the objective reality. Okay, so thank you for listening.
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
Can we move on to you?
Sure.
So one thing which you shared, right, is in the next 90 days, you would really love to have 50 more organizations join with you, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
And what you shared is that that courageously and boldly asking for that is required from your side. And also overanalysis is coming in the way.
That is true. Yes.
Is that accurate? Okay. Can you share, when you say overanalysis, like what is it that you're thinking or that is going on that is stopping you from taking action?
Okay, so this 50 organizations, it's basically reaching out. It's from the sales perspective, right? And I'm not an inherent sales guy. I'm a hardcore engineer. So I'm not done sales before. So I'm pushing that barrier, going out of my comfort zone and doing it. So that's the first inertia I have. Second thing is overanalysis is basically the aftermath, right? In the sense, what will happen? So you think now itself, before I talk to anybody, if I go and talk to him, this guy in a networking session and tell about him, what is next steps, and I overanalyze on that. So the inertia to talk to a person from the sales perspective, I'm not a shy guy or introvert, but and I've never done a sales thing. So that is
so it's before starting the call, and then when you start the call, even then there is
it's not a call. I am not supposed to do sales. It's more or less so our product we have, it's applicable to all the sales. So as a CTO, go ahead and speak to other CTO regarding the product, right? It's not regarding talking about some technology. It's all about talking about the product and pitching it. So that's the sales part comes in.
Absolutely. So let's tackle the first part, right, where you feel the inertia, and you said, I am not a salesperson.
Yeah.
Right. Can you share what do you mean by that?
I'm a salesperson. I don't know how sales are done. So that's the first thing. Like I understand the sales concept. I understand the marketing and other aspects, but I have not done that before. So I don't understand.
Yeah.
I talk to people about the product, but how to close the deal, start the deal, close the deal, that's not my area, which I'm learning there. Which every time I go to speak to someone, I learn new things.
Yeah. And what if, and I want you to listen to this once again with an open perspective. And before I say that, I get it, right? You do not have a background in sales, right? You have not formally studied sales. You do not have an experience in sales. When you say I'm not a salesperson, closing and all of that, you have not formally done that or not somebody, nobody has taught you that, right? That's what you mean. And I get that, right? So I'm not arguing against it when I say the next thing that I'm going to say is, what if for the 90-day objective that you have, all of that has nothing to do with you achieving or not achieving the 90-day objective?
Can you elaborate? What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So everything that you feel about you being a salesperson or not, or everything that you know about where you are good at or not, what if all of that, and I'm not denying it, I get it, what if that has nothing to do with what you want to achieve in the next 90 days?
How is that not related?
So I'm not saying how, I'm asking you what if. It's a different question.
Yeah, so this is my perspective. I'm not understanding what you're trying to say, but this is my perspective. I have to, suppose it's not my alone, it's a group effort with the founders and co-founders. Our objective is to have this 50 organizations associated with us. Now, for that, we have to close the organization and have some sales tactics to it. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
I don't know.
yes.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
so what you mentioned, right? The inertia is not even allowing you to start.
No, there's an inertia. There's an inertia.
Yeah.
I am trying to overcome that inertia. I have not overcome it. So it's a process. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
There's an inertia.
So there is an inertia. You're trying to overcome that. And because of that, you're taking less action than you would otherwise.
Yes.
My question was, what if that inertia, which is coming from a notion of I don't know sales or I have not done this before, has nothing to do with what you're trying to do? See, right now it is creating an inertia because you think that what you do not have is what is required to do what you want to do. Are you following me?
I am following you, but I don't
Yes.
know how's that?
Yes. So stay with me here, right? And I know this is difficult. Right? So you want to go somewhere else. You want to go somewhere, which is like 90 days, whatever the outcomes are. Right now, you're facing inertia because you think there are certain skills required and you don't have that. And I'm saying, what if, and again, I'm not denying that, and I'm saying not saying there is no value in those skills, but I am saying right now, standing in today, those skills have nothing to do with your ability or inability to hit your milestone in the 90 days. And in fact, thinking and worrying about those skills is not helping you, but actually coming in the way of you making progress towards those outcomes.
Okay.
Can you see that?
Not sure, but okay.
So how will you act? How will you act today?
So correct me if I'm wrong. So,
Yeah.
So what you're trying to say is that the skills can be achieved. Doesn't mean that I have to not talk to people, right? Go ahead and talk to people, and the skills will achieve over time. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. I'm trying to say that the whole inertia, right? It's an emotional thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's an emotional inertia, right? You feel it in your body also. What I'm saying, that whole thing is like a smoke screen. It's not real.
Okay.
Especially given the result that you want to do, that you want to create. And my other prompt was, what if that totally disappears? Right? Let's not talk about the how, or let's not worry about the how or all of the specifics. And let's assume that is not there. How would that change your action immediately?
I will boldly go and talk to people.
Yeah. And once again, I want you to see that as a founder,
Mm-hmm.
as a leader, you are already a salesperson. In fact, that's part of your job. You're already doing that to your investors, to your co-founders, to your employees every day. In fact, any leadership role, I would say, involves like sales as a huge category, not like sales as selling something, but sales as a big idea of convincing others or bringing somebody along is already part of your job. And you're already doing it. and you're already good at it. How big is your company right now?
We have 60.
The 60 people, right? And how long have you been in operations?
We're just starting. Not started.
The
We're
company.
launching. Company is there. With the product launch you mean, it's still
Yeah. So how long
this month.
have you had the company?
Been 2 years, yes.
It has been 2 years, right? And I'm sure you have like investors' money.
Yes.
So at some point you convince the investors, right?
Yes.
And that is selling. You sold them on your idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to show you here is that notion of I am not a salesperson, but I don't know how to close, or I don't have skills, or I have not done that, which is creating the resistance. This whole thing is a smokescreen. And if you see that, first of all, you can capitalize on your strengths. See, this is right now coming in the way. See, if I am stressed, I have to do this is difficult for me, I will forget what I am good at, or I will not be able to use what I am good at. If you just see that this is an illusion and you don't have to believe it, just like, right, if you bike, you don't have to learn balance, you don't have to believe balance, you just have to get balance, and then you can bike. So if you can see that and just act without it, because you already are that person, then not just you can, the courage, maybe the courage is not even required. Maybe the courage is required for something even more bold. First of all, you will be free. You will actually speak more freely from the passion that you started the company with. And then if you have to learn something, some skill, you will also learn it more easily because the pressure is not there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it. If you get this, there is so much power in this that it can create magical results in the future. And that's why I said, right, it's all in your destiny. You can reject this outright, or you can play with it and see, and then try it in your life and see that, yes, are there evidence of where I am a good salesperson? Right? Maybe not in the traditional sales, but are there evidence? And I can bet you will find those, especially if you have a company with 60 people, 2 years in existence, VC money, and we're not even talking about the rest of your career, right? I'm sure you would have other experiences also. So, thank you for that, Sachin. Yeah. So you spoke about creating a leadership team, which you have been trying for many years, right? Which is not there yet. So from my conversations with Ravi and Jashankar, is there something which you saw for yourself, for your challenge?
Yes, absolutely. There are two learnings from each of them.
So first, wonderful. And I want to listen to those learnings, but I want to acknowledge you because that's listening.
Yeah. So
right,
Ravi,
that's listening.
the basic fundamental, Ravi has multiple partners and I have a single partner. So I have seen the challenges there, which I actually talk about. So I should have more partners, but I see that where the answer lies on the me itself. So how do you drive myself? Because there is no hurdle. Because I always keeping in mind, I should have 2-3 partners because they can manage my other stuff because I'm doing everything here. But now I realize I really don't need a partner. I can alone drive this organization to the next level. That's learning I got here.
Perfect.
Second, from I forgot the J, right? So when you talk about, he's not seller. This is exactly opposite to him. I started company, and the day one when I sit in the room, one BHK with a one laptop, and when I started a company, I was actually not knowing what to do, which company, what I'm going to do it. It's completely 1 month blank, and then one trigger that whatever the technical stuff I learned it, let me create that in the freshers and then do the business. From that onwards till now, last 12 years, I built the organization in a different way. I learned all the angles like HR, finance, sales, marketing, technology. Now it's time to have those leadership team where they can set those pockets and lead that individual thing. And I had those. That is not something I never had it. I had it. But over a period of time, it upgrades. That person comes, spend 3-4 years as a leader, they vanish.
Yeah.
There is a question about the stability. This is something I'm trying to achieve.
So you shared that emotional decision making versus outcome based decision making is coming in the way. Can you elaborate a bit on that?
Yeah. So I look at it the first person as attachment. One is it as selling. Relationship building is one of the things. Right? When I bring the people in my company, that's my sales. So when a person comes, I attach the emotion more weightage than the outcome. Like this is the KRA, right? He has to drive it, and it's failed that. There's just one example you are given it to Ravi, right?
Yes.
That particular things you attack with the emotion, and then you lose that the
Yes.
complete focus, and then that is something happening with me right now. So I think
Yes.
I have to overcome on that. That okay, forget about it. It's okay. Emotion is there because we're human people, right? We're humans. You, me,
Yes.
all four is talking to each other. We have
So what
emotion.
is, yeah. So you know what to do, but you're not doing it because of what you're calling emotion, right? So what is the fear? What might happen if you do that?
I don't have a fear now.
Now, okay, but earlier,
It was not fear. It was like it's like a thought process is not coming out of that what
Hmm.
to do. Now,
Okay.
when listening these two people and your conversation, I think I got to know that I got the way actually,
perfect.
not something
Thank you. Yeah,
I can take it out and
I'm
then
glad. I'm glad.
I'm driving it. So
I'm
even
glad.
the first 10
Yes.
minutes in Ravi discussion, I really got the
Yes,
some things which I can will start implementing.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful, Sachin. So now you can actually start taking action, different action.
Yeah.
In the same dilemma, in the same situation. Whoa, wonderful, right? So yeah, we are kind of done with today. Then I will
So
share
whatever-
one story.
Yeah.
And Sachin, I will certainly give you something like a few resources after this call, because I wrote a book. I created like 5 videos just on that topic, because every leader faces that, like when you need your next level of leadership team, and maybe for an individual founder that comes earlier, if you have a group of people that comes later, right? So I created a whole set of videos, and we talk about all of these things in detail. So I will
Perfect.
share that, but I want to share a story about the past and the future, right? See, when we drive a car, there is a rear view mirror and there is a windshield. And if we have to keep the car going and reach our destination, we have to look out of the rear, the windshield. And the rear view mirror is very useful, right? We have to look there to avoid accidents. If we like hit something, we have to look, okay, what happened? Sometimes we might even turn our head, but we cannot drive a car forward looking at the rear view mirror, right? It just cannot work. It will be very slow driving. And especially if you are going somewhere where you have never gone before, right? With starting a company or any definition of entrepreneurship or leadership is, if you have to go where you have never gone before, the rear view mirror is useless. In fact, relying on the rear view mirror, let's say you're driving somewhere, you have to reach a destination, you hit a pothole, you don't realize that, you look in the rear view mirror, you see a pothole there, and you slow down, right? Because there might be more coming that will impact where you reach or not. If you let that totally dictate your decisions, you can still use that knowledge, you can still use that information to say, for the next 5 minutes, I will drive slowly. And again, I'm using a metaphor, like an example. But this is what happens, right? We rely on our past to, first of all, even dream what is possible. So whenever we do any kind of goal setting, see, it's coming from the past. See, when you start a company, it's totally blank. I want this. That's it. But the moment you get into the woods, the moment you say, what do you want next year? Because we don't want to fail in that, we rely on what we have done or what we hear from our peers, what we heard from business school, like all of those things. And then we already give a number, which is not what we absolutely want, but what we think is possible. And that is a particular way of growth, right? That's a particular way of growth. But if you want to do this, you have to not just ignore, but sometimes go opposite to the wisdom, to the learning, to the experiences, and to the knowledge, right? And as founders, co-founders, all of you are already doing it. See, there must have been multiple people who have said you, this is not the right way. There are easier ways to do money. There are easier ways to get this and that. So you're already doing that. Yet in the day-to-day, we still get trapped in the rear view mirror thinking. and it's useful, but it's only useful if you look there and look back. But if you obsess over it, it actually comes in the way, not just in the results, but also in the journey, right? Which is the inertia, which is the pressure, which is the stress. Otherwise, if you take that away, that I'm going there, I don't know the route, and I will find a way. See, in the night, right? Yeah, I will just finish it. Just finished with one more minute. In the night, right, when we drive, the headlight only illuminates maybe 5 meter, 10 meter of the road. Everything else is dark.
Yeah.
But we don't turn back, we don't slow down, because we trust ourselves, right? And not just trust ourselves that everything will be good, trust ourselves that if it is not good, I will find another way. If the road is blocked, I will find another way. Even though there is nothing which you can see behind. And that is a wonderful place, because the past will try to predict the whole road. Instead of that, if you can say, right, so for Jaishankar, your example, right, if you try to plan for the 90 days, you will freak out. There is no way you can do that. Now, once you see, okay, this is a smoke screen, this is not real, or maybe this could not be real, then you say, okay, what can I do in the next 24 hours? Just that. Not think about the next week also. You don't have the ability to predict the next week. Take action in the next 24 hours, which would be a bit difficult, because the past anyways is not going to leave you so easily. But take action, because if you think about the next week or even next 3 days, you still will put yourself back into overwhelm. Take action. It will build momentum. Even if you fail, it will still build momentum. Then take the next step. Then as you build confidence, obviously you can plan for longer cycles. But it is action which moves you towards the result, not thinking about what will work, or thinking about what you know, what you do not know, what you believe in, what you do not believe in. So thank you for that. And for me, this conversation is over. So we can just maybe have a round of sharing with everybody. What are you taking away? And Sachin, or anybody else, if there's anything else that you want to share.
I just want to say thanks to the example. I'll just elaborate more in driving in a day and driving in a night is two different phenomena.
Yeah.
Driving day is, I would say, more difficult than driving in a night, because in rear view you get some focus, so you immediately get the past something and you drive in the future. So I started 3 more companies few years back, though failed miserably. In this last 6 months, out of 3, 2 again reignited with a new leadership, with a complete new thought. I started and I'm working on that. Exactly what we said, that you have to look at the view, that the mirror, but don't concentrate on that. Just look at the straight. Because I want to go to Mumbai, I should know that Mumbai is in this direction. Then walk on that path. The road automatically will create for you. So thanks for this really great example. And today I think I'm happy. So
Yes. Thank you, Sachin. Ravi, over to you.
Yeah, so takeaway would be don't get too much bogged down with the past, and start looking forwards to the future, and obviously try to voice a bit more. Try to believe in yourself, keep believing, and maybe share a bit more. That's what my takeaway is.
Yeah. So we don't have time for more, but Ravi, I would share it. At least today, right? You have used the word try 6 or 7 times. And we don't have time, but I would simply recommend you, take out try from your vocabulary, even your thinking, even your speaking, and you will see magic happen. Just that.
Thank you.
Yeah. But thank you for listening. Jaishankar?
So what I'm going to do is basically overcome my inertia, start talking to people irrespective of my thought that I don't know skills. I don't have that skills, which I think will come over time after my some experiences.
Yeah. And maybe there is no inertia to overcome at all.
Maybe. Maybe my block in my...
Yes, perfect. Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening. See, the objective of today is not to give answers. The objective is today to most likely leave you with more questions than answers. And it is an opening which we are creating right now. And the invitation is to step into this opening and test it out rather than shut it off, which is so easy. Right? So that's my invitation to you, because that's a path which is you're not going. And that's where the power is. If you keep on doing what you're doing, you will keep on getting on what you have been getting, right? Including the stress, including the results, everything. The only thing is, this is a new opening, which is uncomfortable by nature. It will be. And my invitation is to be open to that. Even in the next 24 hours, sometimes there could be new insights as you reflect on these conversations. So make a note on that. And once again, I invite you to take action, because nothing changes or nothing works until you work, right? So you will have to put it into work. Otherwise, it just becomes a concept, and results don't work by concepts. Results works when you change something. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being on time. We are ending on time. If you're totally confused or overwhelmed by something, then reach out anyways. We can have another conversation.